other people's brands. I was selling Blue Roll to KFC, Starbucks was buying handhelds, and then I decided that the most exciting thing for me would be to build my own food brand. Everyone eats food, which I thought would be a nice, easy thing to do, and food is something you can get incredibly passionate about. So, why pork scratchings? It's a question I ask myself daily, to be honest. I absolutely bloody love pork scratchings. Tell you what, I sell meat in plastic jars, which is the complete opposite of what everyone else seems to be doing. Everyone's plant-based in sustainable packaging. So I'm either the stupidest person in the room or the cleverest. I still think I'm the stupidest. But I absolutely love pork scratchings, and I just feel that no one was giving them any love. I just felt like every time you saw them, they were in see-through bags. They always tasted great, but and no disrespect to these brands at all, I absolutely love them, but it wasn't very appealing. A pork scratching doesn't look that great. Generally they're covered in hair, occasionally find a nipple in a bag as well if you're really lucky, but it wasn't that exciting. But this product to me reminds me of being down the pub. It reminds me of playing darts with my dad, drinking a pint of Coke, and those carpets that absolutely stink, but you love it because it's a proper British boozer. It reminds me of that lovely community spirit that pubs bring to the UK. And I just thought it would be awesome if I could sell pork snacks because my mates would think I'm the best thing ever. And in the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, I can just eat them on my own. Pallets of the stuff. So we looked at the pork scratching market. There's a lot of people out there say if you want to start your own business, you do a hell of a lot of research. I don't believe in that at all. I think there's a gut instinct in your own business. And the most important thing is go out and see what other people are doing and see if you can find a way to improve upon it. So my market research was very, very simple. I wanted to make pork scratchings. I wanted to look awesome. Then I started to look at what trends were going on in the world. And in particular, at the moment, everyone's very anti-sugar. So that kind of ticks that box. There's no sugar added to pork scratchings. And everyone is pro-beer. Craft beer is having a revolution at the moment, just like at Brewdog and what they've achieved. Like a £150 million turnover business in 8 years. Thing absolutely phenomenal. And so I created Snaffling Pig. Now, since starting this brand, there has been a thing called a plant-based diet. So there is a trend that I'm not really doing. But the thing about trends is there's always a counter-trend. If there's a plant-based trend happening, there is a meat trend happening at the same time. If there is a health trend, there is an indulgence trend happening at the same time. And what's really important is that you don't necessarily follow everybody. You do the complete opposite. When the world zigs, you zag. And you can have a really interesting opportunity, potentially really successful niche if you kind of go against the grain a little bit. So we created Snaffling Pig, a flavoured pork scratching business. We do things like salt, vinegar, black pepper, we add maple to it, in really colourful packaging, which kind of inspires and excites our consumers. 3 very important values that we created as a business, and I strongly suggest if you do not have values in your business at the moment, or if you cannot remember them, or if your staff don't know them off by heart, you work on it straight away. You leave here and you work on your values, because these are fundamentally the most important thing in our business. It helps make sure that everything we do adheres to these 3 bad boys here. So do great things. Everything we do, we want to be great at. We wake up every single morning wanting to sell the best pork scratchings possible in the best way, at the right time, at the right price, in the right environment. We want to have some serious fun in the process. Life is stressful. You're constantly thrown different situations. It's a roller coaster of emotion. If you're not having fun in the process, then you're really going to struggle, because in those dark moments when business is particularly tough, that's when you need to think, hang on, well, at least I'm having fun in this environment. And the final thing is don't be a dick. There's a lot of dicks out there. Life's too short to be surrounded by dicks, whether it's people you employ, whether it's suppliers you work with, whether it's customers you supply to. If they're dicks, get rid of them. And once you realise that you surround yourself with really nice people who just want to do good in this world, you end up having a lot more fun in the process. So they're my 3 values. I live by them personally. The business lives by them. And if you want to steal them, feel free, because I'm pretty certain I stole them from someone else at some point anyway. Nothing is ever new. It's all reinvention of existing stuff. So, how do we do minimal viable products? How do you start a pork scratching business for 500 quid? It's bloody easy. The first thing is you go on Google, you type in pork scratchings, you find about 10 different people who will sell you pork scratchings. What you do is you buy a big sack of crackling, you get it flavoured, which costs you about a couple of quid, and then you've got this product for about £30 that we then divvied up in our kitchen. And I say that lightly, but realistically, you probably needed a food license to do that. But we kind of ignored it. We're a start-up, what's the worst that can happen? We stuck to allergen control. I used blue gloves, and I didn't worry about, I didn't have any nuts or any wheat or anything like that, so I was all legally there. But I didn't worry about those kind of big picture things. I didn't worry about having a food license in the very, very beginning. We bought this sack of crackling for 30 quid. We divvied it up into little packets, little brown bags, and I wrote Giggling Pig on the packaging. We had a cease and desist letter from Giggling Pig. Wasn't allowed to use that brand, so we moved on to Snaffling Pig. We had a lovely snout logo, and then I got another cease and desist letter about that. So we moved on to a different logo, which is like that. I should have paid attention to my trademark attorney, but I didn't because it was going to cost me a lot of money. But since it's cost me even more, so I strongly advise do your research at the very beginning and make sure you don't have cease and desist letters. But it's all part of the learning process, and we put it in a glass jar. I went down to Homebase, £10, bought this glass jar, filled it full of pork crackling, and I sold that £13 bag of scratchings for 60 quid to my local pub. Once I sold one bag, I then went to another pub and sold another bag and another bag. And I kept building the brand that way. So that's how, with £500, we created a business worth 5 million quid today. We then started to print like pink and white stripy bags, but the thing is, paper and pork, it doesn't hold its shelf life, so you then have to put it into some kind of film, which is what this is. This is when you have a bit of money to invest. That's actually cost about £5 grand to develop, but this on the left-hand side, only about £500, so relatively cheap. But I guess the reason I'm here today is to talk about how you actually innovate the category. The pork scratchings as a category is worth about £20 million. And when you sell, predominantly most scratchings are sold in pubs, 20 million quid. Now, if you're really good at what you do, you're going to get 10% market share. So if you're really, really good, I would have a business worth about 2 million quid. And that is not very exciting, to be honest. I mean, it sounds lovely, but it's not going to change the world. So how do you grow that category? So what we then looked at is where else are pork scratchings sold? They're sold in shops. Not many shops, but some shops. And the best possible opportunity there is another £20 million, which means if you combine the two together, that's 40 million quid. So if I'm really good at what I do, I'm going to get 10% of that market opportunity, which means I'm going to turn over about 4 million quid, which is not very exciting. So the question is, how have I got to 5 million quid in 3.5 years when the category is only worth 40 million? We start to look at where else could I sell this product? What's the biggest category out there? What's the category that people spend the most amount of money on? What's the category that people actually don't really worry about cost too much? The one they're willing to pay a little bit more for. And it's gifting. Gifting, Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's Days, Mother's Days. 2.1 billion is spent every year on food gifts in the UK. It's a huge category. No one has ever made pork snacks into a gift, but that's what we did. So what we did is we created a range of gifts, very similar to the minimal viable product you saw. We stuck them in glass jars. And instead of selling packets of crackling for £1, we started selling jars for £15. Great value for money, a great gift, but it's increasing the category. It's increasing the chance of how many customers that we have. It's increasing our chances of frequency of purchase. And so we have this huge range of gifts. We have about 150 different gifting lines, which is frankly ridiculous when you've got that many products for a pork scratching business. But what they want us to do is to sell it into John Lewis, into Selfridges, into Debenhams, into Harvey Nichols, into Moonpig. All these customers that would never have bought pork scratchings before, all because we turned it into a gift. You've got the same flavours that you would get in a normal packet, just in a jar, and then you start to release different types of gift packs. So you start to incorporate hot sauces and beers and ciders, and that also enables you to kind of grow the category. So you become a pork scratching business that suddenly is a beer brand, then suddenly a hot sauce brand or a cider brand. And all the time you keep growing your category, growing your average basket, growing your profitability, growing your customer base from what you originally thought was only a £20 million opportunity. And I guess the thing that kind of made us famous in the pork scratching world is about 4 years ago, I bought a Lily's Kitchen advent calendar for my dog. And I had had this wonderful experience every single day of December, opening up a window and giving my little puppy a little treat. And I had this kind of emotional connection with my puppy. Her tail was wagging, I was looking forward to giving her the treat. And the whole time, Lily's Kitchen Advent Calendar was staring back at me in my lounge. And there's very few brands that actually are in your lounge. You can't, and the only time that's ever really going to happen is Christmas time, and it's the Advent Calendar. So I thought you could make pork scratchings into an Advent Calendar. So many people would have said, hey, that can't be done. It's a pork scratching, you can't possibly put that in an Advent Calendar. But you can. If you believe it, you can do it. And the thing is, this thing, this sells 50,000 of them a year. They sit in 50,000 homes. There's 24 interactions with my consumer. I can have fun little kind of, open up windows. There's pig puns. There's coupons in there. 10 years down the line, you might be able to open up window number 24, and it's a free pint in your local pub, or it's a free gammon steak in your local Tesco. We're not there yet. We hope to be there one day. But the Advent Calendar has been an amazing opportunity for you to grow the brand in different ways. Now, everyone's doing Advent Calendars now, but we started this 4 years ago. So it's about trying to see the trend before it happens by just doing something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. And Advent Calendars are big business. You get this in Londis, Sainsbury's, Budgeons, John Lewis, Selfridges, Harvey Nicks, all those kind of similar places. £17.50, again, great value for money, but when my competitors are selling packs of scratchings for £1, and I'm selling Advents at £17.50, it enables me to grow my turnover, grow my profitability, reinvest that back into the brand, and do things that my competitors can't, all because you're thinking outside of the box. So in terms of like the brand showcase, again, people think we're just a pork scratching business, but we've decided to kind of tackle that by going after more everyday products. Scratchings are only generally eaten Thursdays and Fridays, so how can you get your product to be consumed Monday lunchtime, Monday morning for breakfast, Thursday afternoon, every single moment of the day, and then just start to challenge yourself. What could it be? I'm not saying have pork scratchings as part of your breakfast routine. I think that would be frankly absurd, but snaffling pig can be part of your morning routine. Could it be a really awesome bacon sandwich? Could it be a really awesome sausage sandwich? Could it be an incredible pork chop that you have on a Sunday evening? Could it be part of could it be one of your ciders? So keep thinking about how you can get your brand to jump into different categories, and don't just pigeonhole yourself into just that one category for that one consumption, that one frequency that you get every single week. So we have 100 altogether now. It's about 215 different products. Again, it's mental. It's mental to think that we have to manage that kind of number of lines. And many people think of me, why would you add that kind of complexity? Pareto, he's not famous for no reason. 80% of your business comes from 20% of your lines. Totally and utterly agree. That's exactly what happens with us. But the thing is, the magic happens in that long tail, the Advent Calendar, these jars, these conversation starters, these products that create an emotional connection. Yes, they might be a pain in the ass to start with, but if you don't give them a little bit of encouragement, you know what, they can actually turn into quite a substantial part of your business. And us as the pork scratching business, 20% of our business is now the Advent Calendar, which is an amazing place to be at. So we now do, as I said, we do pork cracking, we do hot sauces, apple sauces, we even do a cookbook, 40 recipes of how to add pork scratchings to your everyday meal. It's unbelievable, and people buy it, which is great, because what this does is it reinforces my brand. It gets people to love my brand for what it is. No one in their right mind 3 years ago would have thought a pork scratching cookbook would ever come out, but I wanted it to happen, I believed in it, and I made it happen. And that has enabled us to have some amazing conversations with people, because it's all about showing what the brand could do, how the brand could transition into different categories. As I said, we do beer, we do hot sauces, we even do peanuts as well. So if I was to kind of summarise as to what the hell I've been talking about for the last kind of 10 minutes, your category is only so big, and every single competitor will be fighting for every single pound and every inch of space in that Tesco store. So what you can do is you can take the opportunity to jump out of your little ponds into a completely new category. If you get that opportunity to do that, and you get over here, so say this is Snaffling Pig, and say this is the Advent Calendar category, I can get over here, I can feed, I can get bigger, I can learn, I can make mistakes. All the time, these little guys continue to fight over what's relatively small in the grand scheme of things. And And hopefully, if all goes well, I'll become a shark. And then what I can do is I can jump back into this goldfish pond and gobble up these little boys before they even realise what's actually happened. Unless my competitor's here today and I've just given the game away, of which case, ignore that, that's not my strategy. But that's what we're planning to do. Keep it very, very simple. I meet some amazing food entrepreneurs out there who love to make things complex because they think they're awesome. When in fact, business is very, very simple. I think it's all about being authentic, being true to yourself, having some incredible values that kind of keep you in line, keep you in check. And it's about constantly just trying to dumb it down, keep it really simple so your consumers understand your messaging, your suppliers understand your messaging, your staff understand it, because that way, beautiful things can happen when things are made very, very simple. At the end of the day, I sell-port scratching for a living. That's as simple as it gets. I try and do it in a fun way, do great things, and I'm trying not to dick. If you ever see me being a dick, you can call me out on it, but that's my kind of whole purpose. And then stretch that bad boy. My Photoshop skills are horrendous. This was done on Paint, which is Paint apparently discontinuing Paint, which I'm gutted about. But you stretch that bad boy. Do not be afraid to be a brand that jumps into different categories. I think when Nokia first started, I might be wrong, I think there were tractor tyres, and then there were phones. I don't actually know what they do anymore. But don't be afraid to kind of stretch that category and give it a go. Could Snaffling Pig sell beef? Don't know. I'm not going to say no, but it could happen. Could Snaffling Pig make t-shirts or jeans or something? I don't know. It's all about, is the brand able to stretch into that place? Never say never, but just make sure you're building a brand that has the ability to jump into different categories, because that's really how you're going to build that brand equity and create that true value. It'll also enable you to sell the product at different times of day. As I said, breakfast, lunch or dinner, Monday to Friday, Saturday or Sunday. And then you've got to dream big. If you're going to dream big, you've got to dream big. Okay, so just think really big here. We, as a £500 small business, have always thought, how can we take on the world? We probably will never get there, but we're going to give it our best bloody shots. And as long as you stay true to those values. And one of the most important things is always be closing. So take every opportunity to sell your products, no matter what situation you're in. So if you do want a discount, feel free. There's 20% off there as well. But I've got like 10 minutes, so if you guys have got any questions, feel free to fire them at me. Yeah, I think, do we need a mic? Yeah, and then we turn it on. It's on. There we go. And you've got to pass it back. Go for it.
When you were at school.
When I was at school?
Yeah. Were you selling some things that your parents didn't know?
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I think entrepreneurship is. I don't think you can learn it. I think it's always part of who you are, and if you're willing to give something a punt. And I had a little tuck shop when I was a kid, but I'm terrible with money, so I used to buy penny sweets and sell them for a penny. I then created a little orange juice company in university, and every bottle was about £2.50. I sold them for £1. So I constantly lost money. The thing is, that's where you learn. Yeah, I don't think as a business you should worry about making money in the beginning. It's obviously important, as you progress. But in the very, very beginning, there's no way you're going to make money. So the most important thing is to get feedback. Get your product out there, see if it works. If it works, reinvest in it. Start, like I said, minimal viable product. Start cheap, and then start to build more value into the brand. But yeah, I think you've got to have that entrepreneurial spirit from early on. Did you have a question?
How many staff do you have, and how many marketing people are?
How many staff do I have and how many marketing? Yeah, so when I first started, I was all about ego. I wanted loads of staff. I wanted to walk into a room with 100 people who would all bow to me because I was the boss. And then I realised HR is a bitch, and HR is the thing that will keep you up at night. And so actually, I don't want that many staff. I want a really good group of people who believe in the culture, and then you outsource everything else. And I think it's very important that us as a business, we hold true to our marketing and our sales, but then we try and outsource the things that we're not good at. We rely on chefs who are phenomenal, but we don't employ them, their agency. And in terms of marketing, it's a core skill of ours, but I'm the only one who does marketing at the moment in our company. I don't want that to be the case, because I don't want Snaffling Pig to just rely on me. It needs to be its own entity, its own beast. but we're not there yet to be able to employ someone in marketing. So answer your question, we had 10, we're now 16 people. I always think 11 is the good number of staff to have in my head, because if you have 12, in theory, you're paying for one person to be on holiday the entire time, and that kind of, something about that just kind of upsets me. So 11 was always my sweet spot, but we've outgrown that. But yeah, it's not about the vanity of having lots of staff. Keep it. The person who doesn't employ anyone and has a £2 million business with a 50% net profit, they're my hero. Absolutely. There we go. Over here.
Two questions. Firstly, the guy who lost the bet, is he still involved in it?
Yes, he's my business partner. Yeah. So we had the medical business together. He allowed me to come over to this one whilst he continued with that. Then when this started to get some legs, we employed a CEO to run the medical business, and he's come over. Very much like I want to say Anton Deck of the pork world, but that's probably not a good analogy. Torval and Dean.
Secondly, when you went for the major retailers, what was the biggest problem that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so major retailer, a lot of people, thank you very much. The biggest problem with major retailers is that as a food brand, you think, and no disrespect to the major retailers, you think landing Tesco is the best thing since sliced bread. The problem with it is that your business becomes incredibly reliant on it. They are very supportive, but if you win 2,000 stores, that is a lot of pressure you've got to put on yourself. You've got to scale up. So what I really wanted to do was have thousands of little customers, and then the icing on the cake is the Tesco's and Sainsbury's of this world. So we then went out to market and we won the pubs, we won a few hundred pubs, we won garden centres, we won small department stores, and we built that kind of case study. So then when we went to Tesco, we had a proven track record. These guys are not going to take a punt on an unnamed business unless the innovation is so phenomenal they're completely bowled away by it. But in food, it's really hard to do that. You really do need that case study. And also the big supermarkets, they need investment. Yeah? If you don't get on an end shelf without spending a considerable amount of money supporting that. So I wouldn't get too distracted by the big retailers to begin with. There is pros and cons with it. I think for a food brand, get out there and get into thousands of stores first, and then build that case study, build that kind of constant income, so that when you're ready to win a supermarket, it doesn't affect your business too much. On a Friday afternoon, if I had a phone call from Tesco saying they're going to pull the plug on our business, it actually wouldn't affect me. I know a lot of people out there who have food brands who, if that happened, it would be game over for them, and that's not a nice place to be.
Veganism is a thing.
Is it?
Yeah. yeah, no, it's a big thing now, and so I know a vegan actually. But would you ever try to move into the vegan world? So we've got vegan burgers, vegan chicken. What about vegan pork scratching?
Yeah, love the question. So veganism is absolutely a trend that we are all very aware of. It's got a phenomenal share of voice. What I mean by that is everyone is telling you about veganism. It seems to be on every end shelf. The very important thing is not to get too distracted by it, because these trends do come and go. Now this one actually I think is going to be here, and I think it's going to be here for quite a while. I also think it's a very good thing. I think cutting back on your meat consumption is a good thing. But the thing about Snaffling Pig is that we're all about premium, so that if people are reducing their meat intake, the people are actually going to be affected, the brands that are affected by that are at the lower end of the meat kind of production. We're at the kind of high end. So actually there's a huge opportunity here for us, because we have the ability to introduce new customers to Snaffling Pig. You also have to kind of stay true to your values. Now we have actually decided that we're going to be kind of pro-British farming, pro-British meat, and so we are not going to go down that route of plant-based. We do have a cider which is plant-based, but we might sprinkle some meat in it just for giggles. No. But yeah, it's about making sure you stick to what you're proud of, really. And the other thing that I mentioned, every trend has a counter trend. So with veganism doing what it's doing, if we stand true to what we're doing, we have a real opportunity to grow even faster than we originally anticipated. Any other questions? Whee!
Export anything to other countries.
That might be me.
Opportunities for other countries too.
I wish we did. We do a little bit, not a lot. I would love to be an exporter of product, but it's a massive distraction. Unless you're really good at selling in the UK, I don't see the point of trying to sell to Australia. It's a different type of culture, totally different market. So my attitude is get really good at selling in the UK, and then the other countries will come to you, and then you don't have to worry about exporting. You just have to get it out the kind of back door of your factory, and then those guys will come and pick it up. And you'll also be able to sell it for the right price, not having to kind of undercut yourself. People can get very, very distracted by exporting. Spend a hell of a lot of money on it, go to lots of different countries around the world, and actually not deliver anything at all. So unless you're famous in the UK, don't bother. Let them come to you.
Hi, well done for taking it so far. Now you're doing lots of smaller retailers. How do you manage, billing and making sure they pay on time?
Well, that's apart from HR, that's the other thing that really does keep me up. Sorry, my fault. Sorry. We run a lot of kind of software as a service. So we've got Xero, which is really, really good software package. We use Go Cardless, which is a great direct debit package, and SagePay for all the credit cards. It's really important that when you deal with small companies, you don't give them much, if any, credit terms whatsoever. You make sure you get paid up front before you send the product. But then you will have to start to trust people. If you want to kind of, my big bugbear is if you want credit insurance, it's likely the business you need credit insurance on, you won't get credit insurance for. And so you're going to have to take a punt on those. I think it's really important you have a spread. So you have big customers, medium ones, little ones, and each category, if anything went wrong, wouldn't take your entire business down. But cash flow, you've probably heard it 1,000 times, it is fundamentally the most important thing. And your gross margins. It's pointless. At the beginning, you have to do what you need to do to get your business out there. But you have to have a good, solid gross margin, otherwise you can't invest back in the business. Yeah. Any other questions at all? Lovely. Speaker. Oh, there we go.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, maybe I missed it, but can I just clarify? Did you say that you just took this the product, but you didn't innovate on the product itself? You just put this product into this nice kind of packaged things,
Yep.
and then you just resold it. And then the second question is, like, once you run out of 500 pounds, what did you do? Did you raise money, or did you just took the profit and reinvested, and that's how you? And what is the ultimate aim? Do you want to be acquired by a big company, or?
Yeah. Good question. 3 questions. Sneaky. I like it. So I very much undersold the beginning because I didn't really want to tell. It's not a Snaffling pig advert here. We did innovate in a certain degree. At the end of the day, it's fried pork, so there's very little we could actually do. But we take one piece of the pig, whereas all our competitors take nose to tail, which means that it can be a little bit inconsistent in its flavouring and its texture. So we only take one piece, which is the shank. We double cook it, so it's not going to break your teeth. So it kind of it invites new people into the category who might be put off because they've had crowns or they just don't really like scratchings because they're too hard. And then we add flavourings to it. Not necessarily innovative flavourings, but no one had ever flavoured crackling. So salt and vinegar, chili, that had never been added to crackling before. So it's kind of taking lots of what other categories are doing and putting it into a new category. It's not rocket science, but in theory it's innovation. Your second question was how do we get past the 500 quid? We have positive cash flow, so we get paid before we send the product out. So that got us going. I then went on a little show called Dragon's Den, which I think James is coming on in a sec. It's not the best place to get investment because they really bend you over for the equity. But it's 3 million people watch that show, so it gives you an amazing brand awareness. And if you're willing to give away a little bit more share for the PR that you get from it, it's a great opportunity. But it is a entertainment show that's on telly, so you've got to be prepared for the roller coaster of emotions and I look like a fool, but that's fine. I always look like a fool. And then we did have to, once we got that investment, we needed to get a few bank loans. But I'm proud of the business we've built, and I was willing to take that risk with some debt. And then we crowdfunded about 6 weeks ago, and so we raised about 1.3 million from 1,900 people. And that's I guess that now we're on to the next stage. But personally, yeah, 500 quid, and then that's pretty much it that I've put in. Your last question is where I want this to go. I do want to sell it because I know as an entrepreneur I'm only good at a certain amount. I'm kind of the 0 to 10 mil guy. I hope I'm 0 to 20, but I'm the 0 to 10 mil guy. And I feel that in order to get this brand to where I really want it to be, which is a national like port brand, something that people just love and believe in, I'm not necessarily going to be the person who can get it there. I need to have some investment and a company to take it to that next level for me. I'm very open about my everyone always talks about your weaknesses. Oh, you need to go away and work on this. And I think that's rubbish. If you're crap at something, just don't do it. Employ someone who's really good at that, surround yourself with those guys, and just focus on what you're really good at. And that way, the brand, hopefully the brand will grow faster. So, and I'm very open about selling the business at some point. Right now, though, we've got so much to do, and it's too exciting to give it up. Cool. One last question, I think, and then we're done. No? All good. Thank you so much for the time. Lovely to meet you all. Take care.